25 fortunate winners will each take home $1,000 in cash. Shop smart and win big at Castillo's on Pescador Drive in San Pedro Town. Castillo's Hardware, celebrating 25 years of top quality construction supplies, electricals, paints, plumbing, and home appliances.
This is gonna be the best day of my life.
Get between Belize City, Keycocker, and San Pedro on a ferry faster than anyone else with Caribbean Sprinter. You better Belize it. Get with us online at Sprinter.
Start earning B-Bucks today. It's really quite easy. All you have to do is make a purchase at any Benny's location or Benny's entity. Remember, B-Bucks is as good as cash. It's free money.
Download the B-Bucks app and sign up to be eligible. It's fast and easy.
B-Bucks, rewarding loyalty.
Welcome to Spice Pharmacy and Cosmetics, your pharmacy with a little bit of everything. From proteins and natural multivitamins by Alpha Products to keep you on track for that perfect fitness goal. Cosmetics, we got it too. From Revlon, L'Oreal, and Maybelline to give you that perfect, beautiful skin. Check out our Forensic products for all hair types to give you that beautiful bouncing hair that you've always wanted. Take care of your skin with our Fruit of the Earth products and also our brand new baby aisle for all babies that you guys would love. We got you while you enjoy your Belizean vacation. Spice Pharmacy and Cosmetics, located on Pescador Drive, San Pedro, and Burgess Key. Telephone 206-2227. Open Monday to Saturday from 8 a.m. to 9 p.m. Sunday and most holidays from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Visit us at Spice Pharmacy.
Good morning, San Pedro, and a pleasant good morning to our friends over in Keycocker. We want to welcome you to our Friday edition of Good Morning San Pedro. Today is the 7th of the month, the 7th of February 2025. We're waking up to a beautiful morning here in La Isla Bonita. We're going to change the format a little bit this morning because we do have a packed show this morning. And we're going to have an interview on the first segment with our area representative. Then after that, we will have BL in studios. And at the last segment, we're going to do our weather forecast and our birthday greetings. Minister, it's a beautiful Friday morning here in La Isla Bonita.
Very nice. Muy buenos días. Good morning, Reef TV, and everyone who's watching at the moment. And in Espanol, muy buenos días. Good morning, everybody. This morning, as usual, my classic waking up in the morning to check my mails, read the news, good cup of coffee. I have my grandson with me this week here.
Okay.
My daughter, my son-in-law came to do some work here at the business. So I usually make breakfast for my grandson in the morning, but this morning I could not do it because of my commitments. But indeed, coming to road, nice weather. Despite the rains, we've gotten a lot of rains, and in fact, just to share before we talk about the weather later on, I requested information from the Chief Met with regards to October, November, December, and January, because those 4 months we've had a lot of rains.
Yep.
Lots of rains. So he did send me and I should share it with you. Maybe I should send it also later, and you can review and I'll send it out to you.
Okay.
But it is, climate change, but the increase of rainfall is far more than what it was. It's more than above normal. It's above normal in the rainfalls, and these days we had a lot of rains. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So.
And
it's good to
even
be here.
the floods and everything, we could have known that was coming, that it was above
Yes.
normal.
Yes.
Minister, what's happening this morning at the House of Representatives?
Yes, and again, thank you for receiving me early this morning, and I hope the people can appreciate why is it that we're doing this segment like this, because I do have to catch a flight to go, because we do have the House meeting
Okay.
today. Several bills are to be passed today, including the one that we're talking about, the funding that is coming for Northern Burgess Key for the Blue Cities, that the loan that was approved, and the funds are going to be given out to develop Northern Burgess, which is for the sewer system,
Okay.
for the electricity, and as well as the road works that we need to do, and water, of course. And that is the first phase, and it will be actually benefiting San Pedro, Belize City, and Punta Gorda. The second phase entails Key Cocker. That is the second
Okay.
phase, whereby they also were looking at the studies. Well, the feasibility studies has started already, and also to do a sewer system for Key Cocker. That is also
This will be presented at the House today?
yes, that's a
when-
bill being placed there, right? So we're putting it to the House. Several bills, very important bills, but I wanted to highlight that one today, that
Okay.
we need to be listening to what we have done.
Do we have a timeline, Minister, as to
Yes,
when
yes,
we're-
but I think that the whole MOUs and the signing up should by the end of July signed up. The funds are there,
Okay.
because when you're working with IDB,
Mhm.
it's a slow process because we have to do studies. So that has been ongoing for the past, I believe, year and a half, 18 months. So we finally see it coming to fruition by July of this year, which is massive. But it's not a political ploy, really. It's because elections are coming soon, or this is a 2025 election. That's why Minister Paris is talking about it. But the truth of the matter is, for the past 2 years, we've been working on it, because it's such a massive
I
project.
remember you mentioned about it, you
It is a
spoken
massive
about it,
project.
and
So this project is going to take years, but the development is that we are planning ahead. We're not just planning for now. So by the time this entire project finishes, it is already encompassing Northern Burgess, so that whenever development continues, the infrastructure is in place. That's the most
Very
important
good.
thing, right?
yeah. So that's good. And then Kikaka is coming
Absolutely.
afterwards.
Yes, yes, yes. And speaking about Kikaker, we finally finalized. I know from last week we spoke about the materials. Finally, we're getting those barges today, and the materials confirmed from the Ministry of Disaster Risk Management, because that is funding that we secured via the National Emergency, the Disaster Risk Management, because it's flooding, right? The backstreet areas of Bahia, Puesta del Sol is very much flooded at this point in time. Lots of pictures were sent to me. A bit frustrated with people, but I
Yeah.
thank them. I want to ask them for patience, but finally the material is coming, and it's a very good amount of material coming in. I believe it's going to be somewhere around. It's more than 20 barge loads they're getting there, and that's a lot.
Okay.
That's a lot of hardcore. Right?
Very good.
So that is also important. Yeah. And then last night, I just want to do. I know we're flying by with everything. Last night I was invited to the high school meeting. That's an important thing. Well received. It was well attended. It was a what you call the report card, and Mr. Vasquez gave out the information, shared all about it, and basically the high school students are doing well. I think there was one form, I can't recall, that was not doing too well. The percentage was a bit low. I think about 35% of the students were not doing well. But
Wow.
all in all, there is a pretty much a report of the students doing well. Besides the issues always discussing about, a couple of things occurring with the, bullying and the hairdos. Some of those boys come with some of the odd looking hairdos. They want to have hair covering their eyes. The daily struggles of what is a school, and Principal Vasquez spoke and mentioned, and so I was listening keenly to that. But he invited me to give a speech, to speak to the students and to the teachers. Of course, teachers were there. The chair lady of the board was there. Later on, I realized that the deputy mayor was there. Deputy Mayor Aranda was there present, because she has a student there going. So
She's part of the board as well.
yes, she's a member of the board as well, of course. Thanks again for the reminder. Basically, we spoke because I think there was a bit of confusion parents were like not understanding that the government is going to be paying the school tuition. And I call Principal Vasquez said it after I spoke. But in essence, is that from first farm to fourth farm, San Pedro High School is the only high school in the entire country, because across the whole country, government committed to paying $450 for tuition fees per student in all high schools, government-run high schools, and of course, we're not talking about those private high schools, right? But San Pedro High School is one of those few community colleges, along with Corozal community, and I think it's Toledo community. The only three community colleges, but those three community colleges still have commitment of the government in terms of salaries for the teachers as well. So $450 per student across the country. That's a huge amount of money the government committed to paying across the country. In the case of San Pedro is the only one in this, the only specific case across the country. And that took a while, because Mr. Vasquez came in and justified that the $450 that was going to be going per student here in San Pedro was not enough, and it would not assist the school. So I told Mr. Vasquez, and well, we need to go, and I will be going to speak to the Minister of Education and to all the people in charge here in the ministry, and let's do a presentation, a justification, if you want to put it that way there. And sure enough, the figures there and the presentation, the financials, and that the budget and everything that they presented, clearly it was not enough. So we had to go. So it was a long process, It really took a while to do that last year, to present. Finally, it was realizing that the ministry realized that important. So per student, we have secured per student, and it was announced yesterday, from first farm to fourth farm, $900 tuition fees per student. That is Plan Belize. Very important. And every student, no because of Belizean or you're just a resident or something. No, it's per student. We are not discriminating here.
All right. And the school is comfortable with that figure. They can work with that.
Of course, that they're comfortable with that figure, because we were aiming for a little bit higher. So they went down a bit more, but that is fine. But what Principal Vasquez stated there, of course, some already have paid. I think for some of them, some parents will be getting a reimbursement, but I think there's also, if they want to leave it as a credit for other expenses that may come, because of course, when you're going up third farm, fourth farm, there are other expenses that the school has to charge, graduation fees, lab fees, things like that they have to do. So parents know they have to pay these figures.
So this is coming in line effective now?
Yes, it's confirmed. Everything in Principal Vasquez. So, but then remember, the ministry does not release it on a wholesome figure. I think they do it on a biennial, right? It's by 2 times for the year. So one is disbursed in September, and which is $450, and then in January, which again they can confirm they received already the additional $450, right? That is basically, according to what Mr. Vasquez, we're talking about as much as $650,000 from the government. So I want to highlight something that what Principal Vasquez said. When I'm speaking to the students, sometimes they're very wasteful or something, and they don't want to participate, don't want to come in. He said, I always tell them, you're wasting your parents' money. So he says that every time now, whenever they're wasting time or so, he says he can't tell them anymore, you're wasting your parents' money. You're wasting taxpayers' money. So that kind of struck a note on me. I say he's right. But it's the reality. But again, I get the work of this government of the day engaging with that. And the last part we must discuss, I want to highlight, and I did raise the matter in school, because of course we're just getting the tuition, but we still have challenges in front that we have discussed, is the issue of the infrastructure at San Pedro High School that is bursting at the seams. No? I think we have discussed with Principal Vasquez about building additional classrooms, and where are we going to build it? We can't go on the third floors because the integrity of the structure does not support for going to a third floor. No? So I did throw out there to the parents. They reach a time that they will have to make serious decision in consultation. The board will have to make a decision in consultation with the community as well, not only for them to decide, but to consult the teachers, the board, community, government, the direction we want to go in the future. And that is up north, where that the acres up there that we have allocated for the ministry We have to look into those things, Erin. We cannot ignore it. It's coming at us, and we will have to deal with it, whether we want to go fully government-run school. With that, there are many benefits of it, of course. For example, if we are to build that high school, which the funds we're working on that to build, we have to build. We have to build a high school. That's no two ways about it, because I was talking to the CEO yesterday on that matter, including Kikaka. There has to be, the one for Kikaka will be a high school, but it will be officially a government one. That is confirmed.
Okay.
A government-run high school there in Kikaka. It won't be a private or community high school. It will be government-run. We have to make a decision here if it is going to be going to up north in government-run. Some of the benefits is that the government or the Ministry of Education has the responsibility of providing transportation. School bus runs then to take that. So that is also something that the teachers and parents will realize that comes along with it. But of course, the other part is partnering. We all know that special place that the high school has is a rich heritage, a history, and remember the founder, Maestro Angel Nunes, what we do with this high school, what we do with this infrastructure, because we can't continue with this in the next 10 years, something, that structure will be obsolete, all right, and it's not safe. I just kind of sparked that out there. Vamos a ver qué hacemos. Ya es tiempo para ir adelante, hacer cambios, darle valor a esta propiedad que vale mucho.
It can't grow anymore, though.
It can't go no more.
That's the
It
thing.
can't go no more.
And the school is only growing.
It's
The
only growing.
population
Yes,
is
it's
only
715 students. So I think this is one of the things we were discussing, and it's at the forefront that it cannot be politicized. This is not an issue of elections are coming, we build a new high school, but it is there. It's reality check. But the good thing is that we are all engaged in talking, and the school is receptive in any way we can. We work along with them. We kind of sensitize that to the parents. Partnering can also mean building a good structure, a sound structure, complete to the facilities that comes for a high school. I mentioned it last night. You want to build a good sports complex there for sports, because it's so important. Even to the point that even we're having a hard time getting teachers, right?
True.
So we have to provide some kind of quarters for them, at least, or at least somewhere in the compound, or some other benefits. But I can't make that decision by myself. The school, it has to be a lot where the community has to get involved and come up with a comprehensive plan, and the government can look at it.
Yeah.
So we're not here high-handed, we're not here demanding, but it is for thought to be looking at that.
Well, Minister, this help that is coming in for the students and parents, it's a huge help that they will be getting.
It is.
And kudos to the initiative
Yeah.
that was taken, and the decision that San Pedro High be included, because not all high schools have been included in this program, right?
No. Sadly, I was really pushing for the one in high school in Kikakar, but the issue with that, following the paperwork, is that it is a private high school, so that the administration cannot work with it. It's a private-run high school, but they do get salaries. The teachers get salaries there. The
Okay.
government pays that. But again, that is also that we are working on that. I voiced my issues there with the minister and the CEOs there from the Ministry of Education. And yes, we have to build a high school here. In fact, I don't want to go ahead of myself, but building high schools is more, the priority will be Kikakar to build
Okay.
high school there, because there is we have the property already. It's all filled up. So the plans are to build that high school very soon. Because
Very
again,
good.
that is also a community that's growing. There's almost 200 students there in the high school.
Wow.
Yes.
That's a good
I think
amount.
108 or something they were telling me. But it's huge. Huge.
Excellent.
Yes, man.
No announcement for elections this morning in the House of Representatives.
I know
I
you
saw
were
the
gonna
letter.
yeah, I know you might shoot that question there. Yes, an official letter by the legal team of the government did make an announcement that there is not going to be an announcement, but I can tell you, I think just to give pause to prepare the work as to responding to what this challenge that some members of Abilisians are taking to court or making that claim. First and foremost, The government of the day recognizes this. It is a democratic nation. We are a democratic country. If you feel that your rights are being violated, or you feel that something is right, you have every right to go to the courts to seek legal redress.
Yep.
You have that right. So we respect that. We are not a government that high-handed just throw things on the side and say we move, or we move like a bull. You can't do those things. You have to respect the right of each and every one. We as a government, let me use an example here. In El Salvador, you know, they're making a sweep against crime. While many people applaud it, there are also concerns that in that drug net, you are dragging in some people that are very innocent.
Yep.
So you can't say the good pay for the bad in that case there. So we're not that type of government. We are not that type of government. We have to respect the right of every single Belizean who lives here, right? So with that said, I am leaving it at that. We don't want to comment. We're going to the House. It's a very important House sitting today. But certainly be prepared that the elections will be coming soon. It is an election year, 2025.
Yep.
So yeah, I leave it at that. But back again to answer your question, it doesn't really matter. All right, I tell our people, continue the work.
Mm-hmm.
You will not see Andre running around. The elections they come, we start to campaign. I have laid the ground out already. We have done the work. I continue to do the work every day. We continue to go to do our work. As for lands, this is also a major work that we do. A lot of that work is done there in our office. Still continue doing with my work in my ministry, right? That is also important, that my ministry is also, you don't forget that you're still a minister, the substantive minister for these portfolios. I continue to do my work. Of course, you know, they had issues with the firefighters. That is under my ministry.
The negotiations are ongoing, or?
Yes, yeah, pretty much in place there. Yes, there was an amicable sitting down of the firefighters, my CEO, the CEO of the Ministry of the Public Service as well, and also a member of the Public Service Union. So they all heard the concerns, and they made it clear from the very onset, the firefighters, that they brought this, what was happening within the department. They wanted to make reports they were not happy with. It's clearly the issue. They appreciate it's not to the minister. Minister Paris has been gracious to really meet that. That is on the record, and I appreciate that from them. That I've done the wrongs to visit every single fire department, fire station all across this country.
I remember you did that run.
The only place I failed, I would not fail. I did not make it because remember we was a busy year with the fires, the floodings, the tropical storms that came in. Is Corozal and Rindra, right? And I was there yesterday, incidentally, at the CTV3 show there, local TV show there in the north, and I explained that to them. It's obvious there is an issue there within internally. They have concerns at the leadership of the department, and they did voice their concerns, and the unions heard that as well. And that is where they placed, I don't call it demands, you know, people say they demands, but what they were requesting from us. We are looking at it. And the overtime is also a big thing because they depend on overtime. That is understood. Just the salary alone of these days, their struggles. But we told them as well that while we still consider the overtime, we will also we have to be prudent. I think some of them firefighters are getting almost double their salaries and what they're getting. You know, as a ministry, we have to do those managing. Auditing is also important. They requested an auditing. There are some allegations of corruption and assets missing. So we are doing an investigation on that as well. I think there is a allegation. Remember, be careful we speak about some missing boots that went missing. And the fire chief promised that he was going to. No, he agreed that he's going to do an investigation to inquire because everything is documented. And if this is something, it becomes a police matter.
You just took this part of the ministry because the ministry entails a number of departments. If I'm not wrong, less than a year.
It is going to be 1 year. 1 year. Right here in March.
Minister, in your perspective, is there a lot to be done in that department?
A lot. These services, the disaster risk management is such an essential service that we provide for this country, to the point that, well, my job has been to take it to the forefront, to people to sensitize. Let me start first with the med service. The meteorological services there, we just passed a paper to formalize it, to make it a legal body, because we work with different different regional countries, regional countries like in the Caribbean and Central America, but we have never passed any legislation to formalize that the Met Service is the authority. They just speak because it's a government-run entity. So when these things were brought to my attention, so what's the move there and the advice they gave me? So that paper went this week here to officially make the Met Service the official voice to give whether it's for aviation, whether it's for agriculture, whether it is for when the storms are coming for NEMO, even for anybody, private entity who wants the weather station, they can access it officially.
Okay.
Where did you get your records? Well, I can quote the Met Service because Met Service is the official service. So formalization is important. But nowadays, it's more than hurricane. We got the fires, floodings, excess rains. Data is important. So the disaster risk management also entails NEMO. There are different places where there is a vast amount of stuff. For example, emergency relief supplies. You got stoves, you got mattresses, you got gas tanks, you got generators. All of these things have value, but we have to take care of it. Now, my point that I brought right there is, and where is the warehouse for hamburgers, Yankee Kaka? There's none. So right now, we are working that they are sending, we got a container one, we're trying to get containers, but we have gotten a 20-foot container that is being prepared. That one will be sent to Kikaker with stuff inside. And I'm already engaging with the village share to let's locate a location.
Let me ask this, Minister.
Because it's important. Well, a storm happens here and we
Exactly.
get incommunicado. Listen to me, the fire does not have occurred. It took me over a week to get the materials here. And I said, this is unacceptable.
Yeah.
And I'm blaming people here, We're just rectifying things that should have been from a long time ago, right?
Because may I ask this? Other municipalities, they have their containers in place. They have their
But
supplies in
it's
place.
not really by municipality. It is by region.
By region.
For
Okay.
example, in northern region, in Region Corozal, there's a village in between San Juan. It's isolated. I don't know how they actually, and I criticized it, and this is crazy, in the middle of nowhere was done, and even the roads to get there. But when you get there, it's a wonderful facility. It's huge and well guarded, and you have the fences and cameras and well groomed. In the middle of a cane field, it appears. There is also in Bangapan, there is also Independence, and there is one in Punta Gorda. We need to do one for San Ignacio Santa Elena. That is also, especially for flooding, it was
Exactly.
clear. So we have to get a place there, but we also have to get a warehouse for San Pedro. And we already secured that place. We're going to be moving the NEMO building to a place that has offices. We can do the command center there for storms, and also having a permanent warehouse to store things. So that one is going to be solved quick as well. But in the meantime, for Kikaker, we're sending off a container there and to protect it. So whenever these storms, we don't have to roll our fires. We have everything in place, man. So we don't
Very
wait till
good.
things happen. So back to what you were saying, it is such an important ministry. It cannot be ignored. Certainly not. No. And I take it very seriously. My job there to engage with them on a daily basis.
Excellent. Minister, it's 30 minutes after the 7 o'clock hour. I know that today you have a very busy schedule. You have one more commitment before going into the mainland.
Yes.
To attend the House meeting scheduled for 10 o'clock this morning. Like you said, there's a very important piece of bill that will be presented.
Yeah.
And hopefully we get the endorsement from the House of Representatives. Will it go through all the readings, or will it just be presented?
Well, depending on what is going on, we wanted it to go through all the readings, but I am not too sure if it will be able to do so. No, but that would be important. It goes through 3 readings, but I'm pushing it. I'm really get this thing going. I'm
right.
excited, like on Libo, I will like push things, But
Excellent.
In closing, Aiden, I really want to thank. I know you have another commitment here in your radio. Also another important thing, the roads continue to be fixing up, okay? We had some delays because of the rains, but I'm constantly engaged with town council. I know there are some areas in the DFC that are being dealt with, and today more material is being
Very good.
gotten today. To confirm more material,
Yeah.
So bear with us. And people are sending us the streets. We take it, we note it. We're getting to you, but be patient. But we have done a lot, continue to do that, and as well for Kikaka is coming. So with that said, I want to thank everybody. Continue the work. I commit to continue informing and coming here and thank you,
Yes.
Radio, for giving me the opportunity, as always, the privilege, and thank you so much to reach out to my constituency. Thank you
Very
very
good,
much.
Minister.
Muchas
Well,
gracias.
thank you much for being with us this morning. And next week, you let us know when you'll be here with us,
Keep
all right?
and then keep your ears on the radio as well.
Good morning.
TV,
Today is
and
Friday,
connections.
February
It's-
7th,
It's
20.
right
Yeah.
around the corner. I have a
Yes.
feeling it's going to be in a minute now. The announcement will be
Well,
coming.
Keep yourself glued to Reef TV, no? And Reef Radio.
Thank you very much, Minister. We're going to go to a short commercial break. When we come back, we have personnel from BL who will join us on our next segment. Short commercial break.
Gregorio's Rodeo te trae a Santa Elena Cañabelice.
Te vuelves a enamorar.
Bronco.
Que no quede huella, que no quede huella.
28 de febrero, Santa Elena Sport Complex, 8 de la noche. Bronco en concierto.
Zapatos de tacón, las niñas se ven mejor.
Ultra 300, día del evento 350. VIP 200, día del evento 250. General 100, día del evento 150. Bronco llega por primera vez a Santa Elena Cayo Belice. Las puertas abren a las 5 de la tarde. Gracias al patrocinio de Residuos Import, Cajalpeche, Billy's Resort, Lighthouse, Ismar, Royal International, Agripreg, Catch Pharmacy, Board Sanitation, Legend, The High Lounge, Philip de la Fuente y Taller San José.
Someplace South Coffee Bar serves you delicious breakfast, lunch, and dinner, along with your favorite drinks, cocktails, and 2-for-1 on mimosas all day long. Friday nights are steak nights at Someplace South, offering surf and turf, filet mignon, and USDA ribeye. Accompany your meals with our California wines made by Belizean winemaker Joseph Smith. For reservations, call us at 628-5373 or email us at someplacesouthcafebar@yahoo.com. We are located on the South Road, half a mile past the Victoria House. Our entertainment for Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays include Coconut Trio, Dennis Wolf, and Valentino. When in San Pedro, Someplace South is a must.
Welcome to Zyva Beauty, style and beauty, all in one place. Your one-stop shop for all things fabulous. Discover a stunning collection of makeup palettes, trendy accessories, sunglasses, adorable purses for adults and kids, mommy and daughter dresses, luscious lip glosses, glamorous eyelashes, and so much more. Hey gorgeous, walk in or book your appointment today and let us help you unleash your inner beauty. We offer expert beauty services such as powder brows, lash lifts, lash extensions, lip micropigmentation, and rejuvenating facials. Find us on Pescador Drive next to Carumba Restaurant. Call 605-9256 or message us on Facebook. Zyva Beauty.
Welcome to Spice Pharmacy and Cosmetics, your pharmacy with a little bit of everything. From proteins and natural multivitamins by Alpha Products to keep you on track for that perfect fitness goal. Cosmetics, we got it too. From Revlon, L'Oreal, and Maybelline to give you that perfect, beautiful skin. Check out our Forensi products for all hair types to give you that beautiful bouncing hair that you've always wanted. Take care of your skin with our Fruit of the Earth products and also our brand new baby aisle for all babies that you guys would love. We got you while you enjoy your Belizean vacation. Spice Pharmacy and Cosmetics, located on Pescador Drive, San Pedro, and Burgess Key. Telephone 206-2227. Open Monday to Saturday from 8 a.m. to 9 p.m. Sunday and most holidays from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Visit us at Spice Pharmacy and Cosmetics.
February is all about Honda. Get special pricing and discounts on all Honda products. Enjoy up to 25% off select Honda products and 20% off Honda parts. Don't forget your B-Bucks whenever you make your purchase. There will also be a bike rally throughout the streets of Belize City, Blue Creek, and Spanish Lookout on February 8th, 15th, and 22nd respectively. All participants will get free oil change. Check out our Facebook page for more details. Love your Honda. It's all about deals and discounts on Honda products throughout the month of February. Only at Benquip Equipment Parts Service.
The AIC mobile app has been helping many to save time while getting more done, all from the comfort of their homes. When you download our mobile app, our services are at your fingertips. Log in using biometrics, view motor and property policies, file a claim and submit claim photos, request a quote, receive renewal reminders starting 6 weeks prior to renewal, submit renewal request, view branch locations, and obtain Google Map directions, make payments via Atlantic Bank Bill Pay, and even contact your customer care rep directly. Prospective clients will have limited access, but can request a quote, place a call to a branch, view branch locations and obtain Google Map directions, file a claim. And since all paperwork is completed beforehand, there's no waiting in line. With all the time you can save, can you afford not to use our app? Download today on the App Store or Play Store. The AIC mobile app. Insurance at your fingertips.
Radio and Reef TV. It's 40 minutes after the 7 o'clock hour. We want to welcome you back once more. This is Good Morning San Pedro. It's a beautiful Friday morning here in La Isla Bonita. Already the 7th of the month of February 2025. And joining us in this segment, we have personnel from BEL who are here in studios. Absolutely no stranger to our island and to Reef Radio, Reef TV. Emmanuel, a pleasant good morning to you.
Good morning to you, Ader.
And likewise, I want to welcome Stephen in studios. Stephen, a pleasant good morning to you.
Good morning.
Let's begin with you, Stephen. You're here this morning to give us a little update as to the works that are being done by BEL here in San Pedro and in Keycocker.
That's correct. So we have a project to install a submarine cable from San Pedro to the island of Keycocker.
Mm-hmm.
So currently Keycocker is the only place in Belize that is not connected to the national grid. So this project has been in the pipeline for a while now, and it involves to run a 15-kilometer, so roughly 10 miles of cable from San Pedro to Keycocker. And then that also includes doing a switching station on the San Pedro side and a substation on the Keycocker side.
All right.
So it's good news. It's good news for Belize. It's good news for Keycocker and for San Pedro as well,
Mm-hmm.
because what this project is a part of our commitment to build robust and resilient energy infrastructure to essentially power the future of Belize. You know, the islands are growing. As you well know, we've had this conversation before right here on the studio, where there's significant growth in San Pedro. And likewise, there's significant growth in Keycocker. So what this project does is it lays the foundation, literally lays the foundation with the submarine cable to ensure the sustainable energy future for residents in Kikaker and also for San Pedro.
So how does this work? This cable comes from San Pedro to Kikaker, and it's the same cable that connects us to the mainland?
Right, so we have an existing cable that connects us to the mainland, and so that is connected to the national grid. So what we're doing is, in order to connect Kikaker to the national grid, the shortest route is to connect to San Pedro. So this is a new cable that is being installed from Kikaker to San Pedro. And currently we're actually installing right now as we speak, the vessel is out there laying down the cable. And that should continue for another few days and should wrap up by the end of this month. The cable should be in place, and thereafter then there's additional work to do on both ends. But yeah, so the benefit there is that now we have that part of the system connected to the grid, and everything is now connected. So while yes, we're adding an additional load to San Pedro, or to connecting it via San Pedro, but in reality, Kikaker has generation that they have more generation than they need, really. So we'll have options open now where we have a line coming from Kikaker. Kikaker can supply itself, plus probably supply a bit more back towards San Pedro if needed, and vice versa. San Pedro has both a line coming from the mainland, but they also have now a generator large enough to supply the entire island of San Pedro.
So those generators will remain there?
So the generators at Kikaker will remain there for another few years until there is additional support to the island of San Pedro, or until we know that the system is robust enough that we no longer need the generators in Kikaker. And similarly, we have the generator in San Pedro, which will remain until there is a more robust alternative that it's no longer needed. But ideally, these generators are more of a backup, because the intention is to always get power from the grid, which usually has more renewables and more sustainable energy coming from it. So the generators are there as a backup. We have flexibility between supplying from San Pedro to Kikaker, supplying a bit of power, not everything. So we have a bit of a concern from our customers in Kikaker, thinking that we'll send the power to San Pedro, and that's not really the case. The case is that Kikaker has excess generation, and if needed, we can supply both Kikaker and send some excess back to San Pedro. So San Pedro can essentially have multiple sources. One is the mainland, which is the main source. You have the large generator that is now on the island of San Pedro, and you can get a bit of power from the Kikaker side as well. And vice versa, Kikaker has their generation, plus they'll have the line coming from San Pedro, which can be supplied both from the mainland and from the generator.
So that concern that the residents have here on the island, that we're going to send, you see, it doesn't work that way.
Right, it works vice versa,
Yes.
and that's essentially how you build a robust system, right? You want to have different options, you want to have different sources that you can pull from whenever needed.
Right.
Kikaker, for example, just to give some perspective to the numbers, Kikaker's load, or what their consumption is about 3 megawatts currently. That's projected to more than double by 2040. And what they have in place currently is generating units that give Kikaker about 5 megawatts approximately.
Okay.
With the cable installation, this provides for the flow of electricity either to Kikaker or from of up to 17 megawatts of capacity when it is fully installed and commissioned. So that essentially almost triples the capacity that Kikaker will have available to really support the future growth of the island and on the longer run.
Yeah.
But in the shorter term, it can also support the consumption here in San Pedro.
From what I'm hearing from both of you is that you have been engaged with the stakeholders there in Kikaka, right?
Yes, yes.
And we continue to engage customers, stakeholders, the business community, different residents in Kikaka. Of course, we continue to do our stakeholder engagement.
Emmanuel, let me ask you this. I know that in the past few months you have been texting us, send the message. We're consuming a little bit close to the peak. Let's lower down. We're in the peak of the tourism season right now, and everything seems to be steady. Are we doing what we're supposed to be doing, or BEL is adjusting somewhere that we're not seeing Amber whiskey reaching that peak?
There are several drivers to that, and one is, of course, the load, which is driven by tourism. But we find the bigger impact here is actually the weather, right? So the heat, and in particular the humidity, and when you get these big heat waves, it really drives up the load. So what has happened is a couple of things. One is that we now have the generator in place, which is functional and can actually supply the entire load of the island of Umberto. And so we have that there on standby, but in reality, we haven't really had to use it much because the load has been lower than what it was during the peaks of last year, and that's primarily due to the weather. So far, the weather hasn't really been that hot. So we expect later on this year, probably around April, May, as the weather gets warmer, gets hotter, at that point the load will start to increase, and then by that time we'll have options as to whether we run the GT or whether the existing cable can supply that load, or if necessary, rely on our energy partners to lower consumption, that kind of thing.
Right. So it's a combination of things, really. And our strategy involves that, like Stephen says, we're doing our part by putting in place the infrastructure to be able to support the consumption and demand when it reaches those peak times, like Stephen says. We've noticed that usually it's because of the weather. But we also partner with business communities, residents even, during those times to assist with energy conservation, particularly during the peak periods of energy consumption. And you have to remember that the demand is also very dynamic. It's not that you can say, well, from April to May, the consumption is consistently at its peak. Usually there's a peak, what we call peak hour, where around midday, 1 to 3 during the day and 6 to 8 during the nighttime, that peak tends to go up because of the heat. More people are using energy, and that's when we start getting customers involved, trying to get them to conserve more energy. And energy conservation will always be a topic that we'll be discussing. During the heat season, it's more prevalent, but even outside the heat season, we always want to have this conversation with different stakeholders, because one, it benefits the consumers. You see a reduction in your bill. That's one way to manage your bills. We know that's one of the common topics of concern for customers, right, about their electricity bills. So that's one way to manage your consumption. And the other one, it helps with also the load management on the system to reduce the strain on the system.
Those the coming months, I know April, May, those are dry months. They are concerned there with the dry months as well. There's no rain, so the facilities on the western part of the country, do they tend to produce less electricity?
Well, the hydros, for example, have storage capacity that, because of all the rain we've been getting lately, they were actually in a very good position going into those dry months. So there has been years where we start off the year with limited water, or we know that we might have issues later on. But right now, we actually have had a lot of rain, and so that's very good in terms of energy capacities. So we're in a very good position going into the dry, but we do anticipate that there might be challenges ahead. So we're doing everything that we can at this time to prepare for that and be ready for those challenges.
Okay, very good. Stephen, what is the timeline with regards to the submarine cable with Keycocker?
Right. So right now we're currently installing the cable itself. By the end of February, that will be in place. But then the construction on both sides is still ongoing. So on the San Pedro side, probably another month or two. So we're looking overall to have the facility at the Kikaka side fully in place and functional by the end of July. So that's the timeline where we will expect to actually put the cable in use. We do have provisions that we can, if needed. So for example, if we had a need to try to expedite that, the cable itself, we can find a way we have ways to make use of it. But the full facility that we have planned will be in place by around the end of July.
Ending of July. All right. So that's good news for the islands.
Yes, definitely.
That's correct. It's indeed good news for both islands, and both residents from both islands had the same concern, basically, that adding it would somehow impact their supply. And it's quite the opposite, where adding this cable will actually improve conditions for both, because then you have more options open, and the peak doesn't necessarily happen at the exact same time on both islands, right? So some islands might have different peaks at different times. So it's definitely beneficial to both islands.
The works that are being done right now, is it being done with the barge, with the
that's correct.
So mariners have to be cautious when.
Yes, we have been sending out some information asking mariners to keep their distance. Basically, we've had issues where people want to come close and see what's happening. I know the culture here they're very protective of the environment, which is very good. So the moment they see a big barge that looks invasive or it's foreign, they see that it's not usually there, so they come by close to make sure that you're not doing anything they're not
dredging,
to. Right, and that's fine, but they do have to keep their distance, because the barge actually has a cable being trailed behind it, right? So if we got people passing behind it before the cable is actually set down, it would cause a lot of problems. So we do ask people to keep their distance, at least a couple 100 feet away. They could observe from a distance, it's not a problem, but they have to be cautious around it. So it's very obvious if you see the barge. It's a big barge with a mechanism on top, with cable going in. So it's from the time you see it, you know what it is.
All right.
And one thing that I want to highlight as well, and Stephen mentioned it with regards to the environment. We know how much San Pedranos and residents of Keycocker value the environment and being environmentally friendly. And what I wanted to highlight is that this project is being done with the strictest of environmental and social regulations in mind. We're following strict EIA regulations. We have a whole team present there that is monitoring the impact to the environment, to minimize the impact to the environment. So I just wanted to make sure that residents understand that these are being done with some of the strictest environmental and safety and social regulations.
Very good. That's good to know, Emmanuel. You know how San Pedro stands, right? And Keycocker.
Right.
Very good. Well, those are good news coming out from BEL. I did get a message. I don't know if you can address this. There are growing areas up north, particularly, I know you are aware of the Secret Beach area, and farther up north, 8 miles north, there's a community that is growing. BEL considering expanding to those areas?
Yes, definitely. There are plans to expand our distribution network on the island to go farther up north, especially Secret Beach. So those are in the pipeline. There's also plans to collaborate. I know there is, at least at the early stages right now, plans to expand or to improve the road infrastructure as well. And we would then also partner with those works to ensure that we have the electricity infrastructure going up. But there are already plans to to expand our network going up to
Okay.
the beach area.
We don't have a timeline for that as yet.
There is a timeline. I'm not directly involved, so I wouldn't want
Okay.
to commit. But I would, I would say probably towards the end of this year that we should be looking at.
We could get you more accurate
Very
update
good.
on that, and then we could get back to you on that.
Excellent. Stephen, Emmanuel, I want to thank you for being with us. I don't know if there is any other piece of info that you would want to share that we did not cover.
Just briefly, so this project currently that we're doing, it's part of a CDB finance project, and there is currently a facility to express or to lodge any complaints. It's called a grievance redress mechanism. So on the BL website, at the bottom of the website, there's a link for the Kikaka project. And if you go to that, there is a link that is called the grievance redress mechanism, where you can lodge any complaints, and then we try to address those if there are any complaints directly related to the project itself.
Okay. Emmanuel?
Well, just to thank you again for having us. I always enjoy coming here and speaking with the San Pedranos. We know how important, reliable, and sustainable energy is for San Pedranos, as it is really the foundation for everything that happens on the island and for the growth of the island. So we do thank you for giving us the opportunity here to come and speak to you, speak to your audience, to the residents of San Pedro and Kikaka as well. Thank you for having us.
Gentlemen, well, thank you much for being with us. I know you are on a working trip, but at the same time, take the opportunity to enjoy La Isla Bonita as well, right?
Sure.
Dan, any other piece of info?
Was there an outage this weekend?
A what? Outage?
Power outage.
Yes, I think, Emmanuel, during the commercial break, you mentioned that it was shared through the app, right?
Yes, so we do post all of our updates through the BL 24/7 app. If you haven't downloaded yet, we advise you to do so. We also post our updates, power updates on our website as well, so you can check that out. But essentially for this particular outage, what is happening is that it's part of us being proactive in making sure that the system is well kept and maintained when we reach those periods of high demand. We need to make sure that the system is ready, and so this is part of that. This is what we are calling our proactive maintenance, where even we're doing all of the maintenance and upgrades that are needed before we reach those critical periods when there is high demand. So that's part of it. I mean, we know residents don't like outages, but we have to understand that our system is also exposed to the elements, so it needs to be maintained.
All right. Gentlemen, thank you much for being with us. Dan, thank you much to our viewers and listeners. Muchas gracias. We invite you for Monday's edition. On Monday's edition, we'll have the Lions Club here with us, Dan. They will be sharing the news of their second annual cancer awareness walk that will be taking place on the 15th. So they will be here with us on Monday to share some news coming out of the San Pedro Lions Club with regards to this particular event. So with that said, thank you much for being with us. We invite you for Monday's edition of Good Morning San Pedro. Until then, you do take care.